Welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm going to be checking out a kind of in the works beta version, if you want to call it, of a game called Strike Zone Bowling. This is for the Atari 2600. There previously was obviously an original bowling game for the Atari 2600, and it was just named Bowling. Nothing exciting about it, just bowling. But it worked. I mean, it's a pretty decent game. I mean, it does what it has to do. It plays bowling. Now, this Strike Zone Bowling, on the other hand, I've seen other people testing this game out. I thought it looks pretty cool. I'm very impressed by a lot of the graphics and stuff going on in there. So I really do need to check this one out. Now, I'm going to start off. I want to show the original 2600 bowling, just so we can kind of have some context as, the differences and how, each game differs. So let's start off. I'm going to put up the bowling here. So this is our classic original Atari 2600 bowling. It does what it has to do. It's very simplified. You see you got the man there. It's on a horizontal kind of, landscape feel to it. The perspective never changes, but let's give this game a try. Let's see if I can. There we go. So you see our man, he kind of just floats up and down, and you decide where you want to throw that ball. And the other thing that's kind of odd about this is when you do throw the ball, you can kind of curve the ball by pushing up or down, I think. So you can control the ball once it's left your hand, which I always thought was weird. I believe you could turn that option off or not even use it if you don't want to. But a lot of people do use it to their advantage, especially if they need to get these pins up there. They can just do that. But I just thought that's weird. That's when you play bowling, it's all about how you launch the ball, how you hold the ball, throw the ball. Once it's out of your hands, it does its course with no interference from the player, unless you're cheating, of course. So you can just kind of do this whole thing of just always nudge it up there. But the sounds are pretty much whatever. I think it just makes a few sounds here and there. But it's bowling. It works. It kind of reminds me of those little handhelds. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, back when they used to sell these little handheld LCD handhelds. Oftentimes they were just black and white screens. And I remember there was always a bowling game, there was a car racing game, and a bowling game was very similar to this. It was just like a guy on one side, the pins on the other, and it would just, go across and you just hope you get your strike. So it kind of reminds me of that. It's the simplicity of this. It works. Anyways, so let's go and check out the Strike Zone Bowling. Okay, so we got the game booted up. So you get a nice little start screen, which I always like. I think everybody likes that. It's nice to have a good start screen. We know a lot of the original Atari games, the 2600 games anyways, they literally just started on the first stage of the game. Some had some pretty nice titles, but majority of the times, especially the earlier ones, they didn't have a title screen. Probably to save memory and all that stuff. But anyways, this looks pretty cool. You can see the pins are all knocked over. It says Strike Zone. The ball looks like it's coming towards you. Pretty good effect, actually. So let's see here. Let's hit the button. And, they added this in here. I mean, adding these little extra screens just kind of adds that extra flair to the game. Obviously, it doesn't have any impact on the gameplay itself. But, I mean, it's really cool. Like, the idea that you're just driving to this bowling alley. And then you go to this guy, where you get to decide if you want one or two players. So you push up or down. And then you got the shoes. So obviously I'm going to do a one-player game here. It says $4 and $2. There's no money. This isn't like... It's not like the, say, NES... the Mario Golf, where you have money and you get to play and make money and stuff. That would be kind of cool, though. So we can grab the shoes, and there we go. So you can see we're at the completely different perspective now. We're actually going towards the, more like a 3D effect, going into the pins. This is a little bit more similar to how it was done on the Intellivision. The Intellivision had different perspectives, but you saw this kind of perspective as well. And then at the bottom, you got this bar. You move your guy, and then you got that bar. You'll see that bar goes back and forth. Kind of reminds me of how most golf games are, with the little meter that goes, woo, and it kind of tells you your backswing. I've been playing around with this a little bit. There's a manual explaining it, but there's many different ways you could do this, and I felt that this was the best one, because you see I leave like a little chunk of yellow in the middle, because it does go pretty fast. Like, you see how fast that goes. I find that that just gives me a nice good middle piece there, and I'm gonna go here. Like, you got to be quick with that, really paying attention to it. And of course it tells you the pins up there that you've hit, and you can you can learn how to do the curves. Like, you'll see here, like, you'll see it curve, and you can also do, like, just let it go and it'll go nuts. There you go, right into the gutter. Now that's more accurate to the way I bowl. I am not a good bowler. I try to. I have some fun with it, but most of mine do end up curving too much to the right or too much to the left. But I guess that's the strategy of bowling. You know, getting used to how you throw the ball and your timing and your speeds. Not necessarily how hard you can fling that thing down the aisle. But yeah, I mean, this is giving you a level of strategy that obviously the original bowling couldn't do, or didn't do, I should say. Getting used to this, little meter at the bottom. Hey, strike. Whoa, strike! Now that was cool. I just love when they put these little tiny details in there. Oh, strike again. See if I could go for a record 3. Oh, that's not going to strike at all. Pick up the spare. Oh no, look at it veer to the left, or to the right. I know my rights and lefts. Oh, game over. And it's showing me the washroom for some reason. I guess I stink. Back to the original. So yeah, I mean, just playing this is so much different of an experience. It actually feels like a real bowling game. You know, it's games like this, when you see this, and you see the potential that these systems could pull out. Now, obviously, we can't be too harsh on the original and say, oh, look, they did this. They should have been able to do this back then. That's obviously not true. Oftentimes, the programmers back in the day, they had a lot of limitations. They had time constraints, restrictions, they needed the game done for Christmas, that type of thing, schedules to beat. But also the technology, the boards and all that stuff was expensive. All the games, they tried to squeeze them into the smallest cart size possible. I think it was like 4K or, whatever. I think even some games were made in 2. The smallest possible thing. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's doing his victory dance. Let's see. I'm sure there's a lot more surprises. Actually, on the Atari Age forum, they got some screenshots of this game where you can actually see some more extra stuff. Maybe if I can play a little bit better, I'll see some more stuff. Like, if you constantly get strikes, you just get that little flare. Like, yeah, look at that. And we always like to say that, can you imagine if this was what was out during the day, and, if more games had this type of quality and flair to it, we might not have had that North American crash like we did. But unfortunately, we did have a lot of really bad games, and we can't just poke at the earlier games as being the bad ones. There was a lot of garbage that came out later on. So you see you got another game over screen there. And I like that. I like that they did this. I like that they've added these extra pieces to it, so you can get, the better you are, the more graphics you get, the better, that obviously you're celebrating here with I don't know if that's a hamburger or a hot dog and some drink. But yeah, really cool. I like this. And this is the beta stage, so I don't know. I guess there's going to be some more tweaking, more editing, whatever. They probably have the playtesters going at it and trying to find bugs still. And anything can happen while you're testing a game. Even when you launch a game, there could be problems. Anyways, let me know what you think. I think this is pretty cool. I was quite impressed. And, even just seeing people playing it, I knew it would be great. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.